What is up, Flight Fam? Welcome back. Why did you make that face?
It was just super loud.
What's up, Flight Fam? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name's Zach, or you can say Pilot Zach. Thank you guys so much for coming to my YouTube channel and checking out my videos. Guys, it's been such a long time since I posted a video. Like, I don't, it's gotta be like 6, 7, 8 months. I don't know. But, I forgot what I was gonna say. If you're not already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and turn on those post notifications. And turn on those post notifications so you can get updated every time I post a new YouTube video. In today's video, we're going to be doing like this sort of talk show type, news TV show type thing, which we are calling Delayed. First, we're going to be talking about an update. What's going on in my life? How did ATP go? Am I done?
Yeah, you're done.
And what is my next step? Where am I? What am I going to do now? Then after that, we'll be going over to a segment called Now There's an Idea. And basically, that's just some tips and tricks and some insight on what I think can help you guys out in your aviation career. Then we're going to go over to a segment called Ask Zach, which is basically just a Q&A. And finally, we'll be doing something we call Sky High Headlines, which is basically just what's going on in aviation news right now. So anyway, let's get into our first segment. Alright, so what exactly is going on in my life right now? Why have I been off YouTube for so long? And I'll tell you, it's been crazy. ATP kept me so stinking busy. If I wasn't studying, I was flying, and I was driving back and forth to Long Beach just like almost every single day. So I was kept very, very busy, which is kind of why I stopped uploading. But I'm now finished with the ATP program, and I took and passed 6 out of 6 check rides without failing. So thank goodness, because I was stressing hardcore about that. So we're gonna go over my ATP journey, and we're gonna be starting off with my instrument phase. My instrument phase I absolutely loved. I loved, learning about IFR flying and, the IFR flight plans, doing the flights. I just had an absolute blast. So what I mainly use to study for my instrument phase is Pilot's Cafe. That sucker helped me so much because it gives you just a general idea of what you need to know. Now, should that be the only thing you use to study? Probably not, but it's still an awesome tool to use, and I highly recommend that you guys use it. Then onto the written exam to get ready for my instrument check rides. I use Shepherd Air, and guys, I can't express enough to you how much Shepherd Air is useful. I mean, after using Shepherd Air, I got above 90% on all my written exams, so highly, highly, highly recommend using them, and I think you guys will have a good outcome with them. Just preparing for my instrument check ride, I went into the simulator if you're at ATP, and I was just practicing over and over and over again, which I highly suggest you guys doing if you have access to the simulator. Running through those different flows that you have to do depending on the type of approach that you're doing. Then when I took my check ride, it was actually kind of funny. I don't know if you can say funny, but it was interesting. We took off and my door popped open. I didn't actually realize it. My DPE's like, hey, your door opened up. And I looked over, and sure enough, my door was just cracked open. So we had to cancel all of our clearances, circle back around and land, and then restart the check ride, which actually was pretty helpful to me because it kind of got rid of those nerves and made myself confident in my flying, and I was able to take and pass my instrument check ride. So instrument phase I loved. Then on to crew. And what crew is it helps you get the hours that you need for your commercial phase. So when you take your commercial check ride, you have to have 250 hours. Crew with another ATP student helps you get those hours that you need. Now, if you don't need the hours from crew, which I did my private phase at another airport, so I didn't really need all the hours. I didn't need to use all the hours that they offered in crew. I opted out of using all of my crew hours, which was then allowed to save those hours that I opted out of and put it toward other phases, which I highly recommend doing. Now, I'm not saying don't do crew at all, but I'm saying try and save those hours if you can and put it toward CFI or CFII or whatever, because that's what I did and it helped me out a lot. So after crew, like we talked about, we went on to the commercial phase, and there are so many maneuvers that you have to memorize. So really, get some flashcards, write all the maneuvers down, all the limitations, and just go over it in your head. Go over all the flows that you have to do for each maneuver over and over and over again, which is what I had to do. The lazy 8 maneuver sucks. Just straight up, it sucks. I hate that maneuver. It was so hard for me to do. That was definitely the hardest part about my commercial phase. So again, just keep practicing, and I promise you'll get it, because I was horrible at them and I was able to figure it out. But after all that practice, I took and passed my commercial check ride, so it all worked out. And after that, I got sent off to Arizona to do CFI. Now, before I went to Arizona, I actually did 2 weeks of online ground school, and it's like 6 or 7 hours long every weekday. You're just going over everything you need to know and be prepared for when you go to Arizona. While you're doing that, you're also making these lesson plans, which I think there's like 80-something lesson plans you have to make. So what I suggest doing is talking to someone who's already gone through CFI, get their lesson plans, and kind of adjusting them to yourself. So you're not trying to make up all these different lesson plans, because it'll take hours, guys. It's a crazy amount of lesson plans. So after I did those 2 weeks, I went to Arizona. I ended up being there for 3.5 weeks. So definitely bring whatever you need to bring to be prepared to be at your location for a long time, because they're still trying to catch up with everything that happened with COVID. Literally every single day I was there, I just studied and studied and studied, and guys, I was so ready to come home by the end of it. I could not wait, and I passed my CFI check ride, and as soon as I finished, I drove back to the apartment, shoveled all my crap in my truck. It was everywhere in my truck. I just wanted to get home, and drove 5-6 hours back home. I was so done by the end of the 3 weeks, because it is a lot, but it's definitely worth it. So after CFI, I came all the way back and went to Long Beach and started my CFII phase. And what that is, Certified Flight Instructor Instrument. When I started training, I was doing those instrument approaches, and I'm like, man, how did I do this instrument stuff before? Because it had been so long since I had done instrument approaches, I forgot how much there is actually to do. So don't get discouraged when you come back for that CFII phase, because it is a lot trying to relearn everything again. But after your first flight or two, you should be back into it. On the actual check ride, on the RNAV approach, I accidentally activated the incorrect leg. And when that happened, I thought to myself, I just screwed this up. I'm gonna fail my check ride right now, and I'm done. Because that's the big thing that a lot of people fail their check rides on, is activating the incorrect leg. And then I thought to myself, no, like, you've made it this far, you can do this, just do what you know you need to do. So ATC's trying to talk to me, I'm trying to maintain my altitude, maintain my airspeed, run through all my flows, and now I'm trying to activate this stupid leg that I jacked up, and I ended up getting it working, and we got back and landed, and my DPE was super impressed that I was able to get that problem fixed. But thank goodness I finished that, and I passed. Then I went on to the commercial multi-phase. And this is where you get to hop in the Piper Seminole and do your training and that guy. And for me, this is the hardest phase, just because there's so many different flows that you have to go through between the down checklist, and there's just a bunch of other checklists that you need to memorize. What I did was I again went to the sim, practiced over and over and over again. I went and sat in the airplane, and I just practiced those flows in my head and pretending, to do everything in the airplane. I promise that will help you guys if you're struggling with that. Commercial multi-phase is definitely the most difficult for me, but just, practice, and it ended up paying off. I passed my check ride, and all was well. And finally, I did my MEI, so multi-engine instructor. And starting off, it was so crazy to me, because I'm like, I'm so close to finishing this program. MEI honestly was pretty easy. You just got done doing your commercial multi-engine phase, so there's not anything different besides, switching seats. I mean, that's basically it. And what I highly suggest for you guys to do is, on your actual MEI check ride, ask the DPE if he wants to fly. And I did that for my DPE, and he flew some of it to simulate being the student. So don't be scared to ask your DPE to do some of the flying, because it'll really help out your check ride. So that's the update on my ATP career. I am currently unemployed and not in any school right now, so I'm pretty bored, to be honest with you guys. But the reason why is I have some family vacations coming up, so I wasn't able to get a job quite yet, but I do have a possible CFI job lined up at a local airport, which I will hopefully get to do right after my few family vacations that I have. So keep on the lookout for that update because it should be coming very soon. And also, I am on that wait list right now to be an instructor at ATP in Long Beach. The wait list is about 6 to 9 months, so I'm not counting on that right now because that's going to be a long time. So who knows? But that's the update on my aviation career and my life right now. So let's head to our next segment called Now There's an Idea. So first we're going to start off with written exams. As I talked about in my update, Shepherd Air, I cannot express it enough, Shepherd Air. Guys, I promise it will help you guys out. It worked for me so well. Like I said, I got above 90s on all my written exams because of Shepherd Air. They pretty much give you the questions and answers that are going to be on your exam. So Shepherd Air, guys, highly recommend. Now when it comes to the check ride, if you're at ATP, study that DPE supplement like the back of your hand. I read that DPE supplement tons of times, and I did not feel prepared for a check ride until I was able to answer at least all those questions, because those are all the trick questions the DP is going to ask. Then a few days before your check ride, text your DPE, ask him his weight, how much the exam's going to be, just so that you can show that you're trying to be prepared for this check ride that you're going to take with him or her. The day before your check ride, go to the facility, and if you're not at ATP, just go check out your airplane, get all the airworthiness information so you can have the weight and balance and airworthiness done the day before your check ride, so you'll feel relaxed and ready to go the day of your check ride. Some people wait the day of their check ride and just do it an hour before their check ride. I don't recommend that at all. Just go the day before and do it. So basically, guys, just do as much as you can before your check ride, because there have been times where I haven't, and it has been extremely stressful and frustrating. So just please get as much done as you possibly can before your check ride. If you have anything else that you want me to talk about on my next tips or tricks segment, please let me know down in the comments. And now let's head over to Ask Zach. Alright, so Ask Zach is just a Q&A basically. I have some questions here that people have asked me before that I'm going to be answering. If you guys have any questions down below that you want me to answer, please let me know down in the comments, and let's get into it. So first, how was ATP and did you like it? ATP to me was awesome. I loved it. It was a great experience. It taught myself responsibility. It kind of helped me grow more into an adult. So ATP overall was just an awesome program and I enjoyed it a lot. Did you have any college experience before you started at ATP? I did not have any college experience. Let me tell you what my plan is. So I finished high school, worked at a restaurant for about a year and a half, then went into the ATP program. Got done with the ATP program, and what my plan is when I get hired on with the regional airlines, I'll be doing online college. So that's where the college kind of comes into play. I know it's pretty difficult trying to fit your aviation training and college together, so that's my plan. Can you show me your local airport card? Guys, I get this question all the time. So I have the card right here. Basically, what this card is it tells all my local airports. I'll put a picture up for you guys to take a screenshot. And it tells you just, the airport identifier, tower frequency, ground, ATIS, field elevation, pattern, altitude. And it's a great card to have if you want to make one for yourself of just the surrounding airport. So you have that easily ready for you guys to grab in case you need it. Next is, do you recommend ATP? So kind of like what we've already talked about, I do recommend ATP for anybody who's pretty serious about aviation. If you just want to become like a private pilot and fly for fun and not really working toward it being a career, then I would not suggest doing ATP. ATP is pretty much just pounding out those certifications that you need. So just be prepared for it to be very fast paced, but if you want to get done in a short amount of time and be on your way to the airlines, then I do suggest ATP. What is your most embarrassing moment at ATP? I don't have one distinct embarrassing moment, but there are a few things that I do that are kind of embarrassing. One is, you guys can see on my YouTube videos, I freaking can't talk. My brain just thinks faster than my mouth actually says stuff, and my words come out all jumbled, and it's just a big mess, and that totally reflects onto my comms work. So whenever I'm talking to the tower or SoCal Approach, half the time I gotta repeat what I'm saying because I just say it too fast. It doesn't even come out as English. So that's pretty embarrassing because that happens at least once every flight. And also, pushing back the plane with the tow bar, I have the hardest time doing that for some reason. I can kind of do it pretty well now, but the whole time at ATP, it was embarrassing. It was just straight up embarrassing. I was so bad at it. It was not good. The last question is pretty funny. Do you believe in aliens? I do believe in aliens. I think that there are so many galaxies and planets and stars and just there's so much out there that we can't be the only ones, guys. Come on. And with all the UFO stuff coming out right now, I mean, who knows? I think it's possible. I think it's real, but let me know down in the comments if you guys think aliens are real. I'd like to know. Alright, so that's it for Ask Zach. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to answer them. And let's head on to our final segment, Sky High Headlines. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Aeroplane, alongside co-host Piper Cubbings, as we bring you breaking news brought to you only by Sky High Headlines. United has just announced that they are planning on buying 15 supersonic aircraft, possibly up to 50 total. This aircraft has a slick-looking design, that of which is familiar to the retired Concorde. These aircraft will fly at a cruising altitude of 60,000 feet, almost doubling current altitude that commercial aircraft currently cruise at. Or in other words, 5 times the height that Piper over here can get to. This aircraft will get you to your destination at a speed of Mach 1.3, going from New York to London in only 3.5 hours, and San Francisco to Tokyo in 6. Your take on this, Piper? Thank you. Inside this aircraft, your seat will give you plenty of leg space and a gigantic screen in front of your face so you know how fast you're getting to your destination. In other words, we know that these plane tickets will cost an arm and a leg. So when can we expect to travel on this terrifyingly fast aircraft? Well, by 2029, United has announced that they will be carrying passengers on board, taking you to and from your destination safely. United has also announced that it is optimized to run on 100% sustainable aviation fuel, and the first large commercial aircraft to be net zero carbon from day one. So if you have plenty of money to waste and you're not already terrified of flying, this flight is going to be for you. Back to you, Zach. Thank you, Arrow, for that breaking news, and now it's time for the end of our video. Woo! This is horrible. I can't slide on this rope. Woo! Alright guys, welcome to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm so sorry it's taken so long to put another video out, but like I've talked to you guys, I've been crazy busy with ATP. I'm kind of enjoying my time off right now, but I'm so ready to get started as a CFI, and who knows, maybe I'll be instructing one of you guys someday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't kick it. Please click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Click that bell to get notified when I post a new video. And if you guys want to stay updated more currently about my aviation career or my life, or you guys want to just say what's up and ask me questions, head over to my Instagram. I have it linked down in the description, and I will try to respond to all of you guys. Thank you, Flight Fam, so much for watching, and I will see you guys on my next video. Woo!